Good afternoon and welcome back to Election Watch. It is 3 p.m. and we are continuing our coverage of the 2025 local authority and regional council elections. I am joined by Wanda, assistant journalist, who's going to help us dissect the results as they come rolling in. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. It has been quite an interesting morning with some of the results coming in. And of course, you and I will go through some of the results that have been confirmed so far. And we will dissect it. But first, we are going to take a look at the CEO of ECN, Petrus Sharma, who provided an update a little bit earlier in the day on the progress of vote counting for the regional and local elections. Here he is.
Members of the media, good afternoon. I'm here today basically to give you any update from where we ended last night and what is happening currently. As we indicated as a commission last night, that the polls would conclude 9 o'clock in the evening. All the polls concluded as we indicated, with those polling stations with voters in the queue were allowed to cast their votes, and immediately after the process of polls concluded, all polling stations commenced with the counting process, which they had to follow a prescribed process to make sure that the verification, the reconciliation of the materials, particularly the ballot papers, is well done. So, I would like to inform you that counting has been concluded in most of all our polling stations. That is one. So that means election results have been announced as preliminary election results, posted at all polling stations, and then the teams moved to the collection centers. Of course, we have noted that there are a few polling stations that are still doing the counting. It is because of the distances and the process that they need to follow. So, as I'm talking now, most of the teams are at collection centers. What is happening is the collection centers, the returning officers being at the collection center for the constituency or local authorities, they are collecting all the results from all the teams that have concluded. Once that process is done, they have now to announce the preliminary election results, post at the collection centers, and forward or transmit these collection results to the Central Election Result Center. So the same process is happening at a Central Election Result Center. In other words, when we receive the election result, preliminary election result from the returning officers, we have to verify, to make sure that whatever the returning officers have announced as preliminary election result is correct. where we detect a discrepancy, we do not have the power to effect any change. That particular result is sent back to the returning officer concerned so that they effect the necessary adjustment or corrections when necessary. And that's why what we are currently busy. This is basically to make sure that whatever the commission will announce as final results at the time and hour the commission will inform you those results are indeed correct. So basically really it's just to update you what is happening so that you will also understand and appreciate the process. So the process of verifying the results at the collection center is not easy one. It's a very tedious process, very cumbersome. That's why it takes a bit of time, because the returning officers are also to make sure that whatever they receive from the respective presiding officers, all returns are tallied. So once the process is done at the Central Election Results Center, the Commission will now announce all those election results for those constituencies that have been cleared. We are going to inform you with the time when we are going to announce the first election results. But we thought it's necessary for you to really understand and appreciate what we are currently busy with. So you must bear with us, because we have to make sure that whatever we announce is really indeed correct. Having said that, we will inform you through our communication department the time when the Commission will announce the first round of the election results.
Now swinging over to the election results. In the Regional Council preliminary results in Gibeon, the story is one of a razor-thin margin. SWAPO's Jeremiah Svaneel won with 1,069 votes against LPM's Brigadier Afrikaner with 988, a victory of just 81 votes. This represents a vote share of 49.8% for SWAPO to 46% rather for the LPM, showing the LPM's immense strength in this constituency and signaling this SWAPO stronghold is now a true battleground. Now let's quickly take a look at these figures. What do you make of this, Wanda?
They don't come as a surprise. That was expected. Yes, of course, the LPM seems to be losing in their own home ground. People are going back to the ruling party. But that shouldn't come as a surprise, really, because if you look at LPM and you look at IPPC, those are breakaways from the SWAPO party. So their undoing was the performances in the past 5 years, because people expected a lot from them, that they would be better than the mother party. But then people could be realizing that it's better to go back than to continue, because whatever these parties that broke away from the SWAPO party are pushing might as well be easily pushed by the SWAPO party. So this is not going to be a surprise, and I want to believe that SWAPO is going to increase from the 88 seats that they got in 2020, because now they've pushed up in the south. I think they've taken almost what is there, although all the results are not in. But if you look at the voting pattern, you can actually tell that they are sweeping Yeah.
Very interesting. And also some very interesting developments in Rundu Rural. We witnessed literally a political earthquake. Independent candidate Nginga Paulus Bangu didn't just win, he annihilated the competition with 86.7% of the vote. SWAPO's candidate Lucas Matumu Bangu garnered a mere 13%. This is not just a loss for SWAPO, it is a collapse, suggesting a powerful local candidate has completely redirected the loyalties of the electorate. Would you say people are tired of parties? Because he's doing very well. I was speaking to Twibo earlier on, and he was saying that obviously this is still to be confirmed with the results as they come in, but independent candidates are doing fairly well in some constituencies.
Yeah, in 2020, Mbangu was one of the 4 independent candidates who went to the National Council. He broke away from the SWAPO party in protest because he actually felt that he was the chosen one. But then the party then had to choose someone else who could go there. That was Rundu Rural, but him then he said he was going solo, but then he managed to get it. Now this actually proves that if you are grounded within the people will back you up. So I'm not sure what he has done there, because I just saw some bits and pieces of some stuff that he was doing, putting up proper shelter for people. But for one thing, he was always there with the people. So if you stay with the people will stay with you as well.
And
so
they'll remember you when it comes to elections.
So he never went away. So if you look at that margin, that is the storming, like he actually stormed them out.
Yes.
That's 459 against 3057.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for PDM, I don't foresee PDM surviving the next 5 years because they've been performing badly. If they are going to survive the next 5 years, I think they need to work on it.
I would have also thought this would have been one of their strongholds. I'm to be corrected as well. I'm not too sure. But I would have thought they would have performed much better than what they are currently performing as. But obviously, still there's more results to come in and more...
Yeah, but if you look at this and then you also look at the breakaways, there have been quite a number of people who have left PDM. We are not quite sure why they are protesting. We are not quite sure why they are leaving. But that is a clear sign that things are not going on well. So if you lose so many people, and that will also translate to a loss in votes. And Rundu Rural has never been PDM's stronghold.
Oh.
APP could have done better there. Not PDM.
Not PDM. Okay.
Yeah, but it was a stretch for them to try and contest the way they knew that there's a very strong independent candidate.
All right. Now, moving over to Oranjemund, SWAPO reasserted its control comfortably. Their candidate Nesta Shami took 59% of the vote, a solid majority. However, this victory is shadowed by a deeply troubling number, a shockingly low 43.2% voter turnout. Now, this low voter turnout has been I think a consistent issue throughout the country, we can say. Obviously, there are some places that did record high numbers of voters, but everywhere else, there is quite a lot of issues in terms of the fact that low voter turnouts. Yeah. So, yeah, but they did well in Oranjemund. SWAPO did quite well there, I would say.
Yeah, they did. Look, the South is an LPM stronghold. And for LPM to be whipped there is something that is a shock. Well, one might have thought that they could have done better or even gotten 50% of what SWAPO got, but they've lost. So this is the second one there that has been taken away because SWAPO had this, I think. But this kind of showing for LPM, especially where their campaigns were, it it doesn't speak well for the future of the party.
Yeah.
So we are looking at a situation where we've got PDM might as well be washed up, and then we have LPM as well. They might end up on the banks. IPC, one might have also thought that they could have done better, but it doesn't seem as if they are up to the game. So we might still have SWAPO coming in to dominate. Like I said earlier on, people then will be asking themselves, we have had these guys for 5 years. They said they would come in and change things, but still we are where we were, or we are even worse off. Yeah.
Now, we have seen quite a number of different results coming in. What is your take on coalition politics, especially at the local level? Do you foresee parties like the IPC and PDM working together to counter SWAPO?
Maybe all the results that we have seen, the emergence, those measures, they don't warrant a coalition because it's a clean sweep. Now, where we would be talking about a coalition is where we end up with a hung result. Now, in this case, Mbangu has taken it all. From the few results that we have seen, SWAPO has taken it all. So a coalition can only come when it's a neck-to-neck kind of thing. But now there's no neck-to-neck, there's clean sweep. So we maybe here in Vivinduk, maybe in Swakopmund, maybe in urban centers when the local authority results start coming in, that is when we can start talking about coalitions. But as it is now, from the regional council results that we have seen so far, those are clean sweeps.
Now, speaking of the independent candidates, do you see more trends where independent candidates are going to perform better compared to the parties? Do you foresee this rather?
In 2020, there were 4 of them. I wouldn't want to say it is possible that there could be more. But if you broke away from your party in the last 2 months, you can't perform better like what Mbangu has done, because Mbangu has been there for the past 5 years. But we can't rule out that there will be more, because there are a lot of independent candidates. So we might end up having 10 or 12, depending on how they campaigned.
Yes, and the results will tell us this. Now, taking a look at returning officer for Swakopmund constituency, Heleni Nathaniel, who shares an update shortly after the final polling team arrived at the coalition center for the Swakopmund constituency. This was at 12:36 p.m. Let's have a look.
Okay, thank you very much, Len, for having this interview with us. Could you please just give us an update on what exactly is going on at the Swakopmund coalition center?
Currently, we are just colliding, like Swakopmund is 9 teams. So those teams are coming. As they are coming, I'm colliding. I'm putting the result together for the whole constituency. So far, I'm done with, I think, 35 teams are done capturing. And only 3 that I'm still busy with. Then after I finish capturing, I will send the result to Windhoek. Only when the Windhoek say go ahead, then I can announce.
Okay. We see that we just noticed that there's a team that just came in now. Is this the last team, or are there any more teams?
No, that's the last team. That's the last team.
All right. Is there maybe any reason why they were delayed?
Yeah, they were still counting. They were just counting. There is no any other reason. They were just counting.
And your tablets are still off, working fine, they're not freezing?
No, there's no freezing. There's no freezing. Just that, like, how do I put it, ne? The team is so big, ne? And then once we all, like, we are all uploading at the same time, and then the system or the server gets consistent. So now we are doing, maybe we are allowing like 2 teams to upload, and then when We get a feedback that they got the results, and then the next team upload. We upload team by team. You can't do it at once. The server cannot accommodate at once.
Now, there are some results that just trickled in from Judea Liamboloma Regional Council results. Let's take a look. Oh, wow, we can see that SWAPO is leading, and then we also have the IC, members from the IC rather, and also another member of the IC, and then we also see IPC scoring something, and also NDP. What are you making of these results? The SWAPO candidate Vincent Bafese Sinalumbu has won with 1,089 votes. That's quite a staggering amount compared to the rest. What do you make of this?
Yeah, that's from the Zambesi region. Once again, SWAPO is gaining ground. Now, you see there were two independent candidates there, and both of them, they performed far much better than IPC and NDP. Gwelu Humphrey Dival coming out with 714 votes, and then Morven Temuso Mkwata with 406 votes. Those two are independent candidates. And so they have performed far much better than IPC and NDP.
Yes.
So this could be a sign to say if more results come through, we might see more and more independent candidates
doing fairly very well.
Yes. Yeah. So because if you look at 714 and you compare that with IPC's 45 votes,
I hear you.
It's
not that.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's not the worst.
It's terrible. It is.
It could have been what happened in.
It is. Look, for IPC, it's terrible because they might be going the same way COD went, the same way RDP went, the same way PDM is going. So this is exactly where it is. It doesn't look.
But one thing that I liked when I saw that, it was the voter turnout. It was at, I believe, 71.8%, but I do stand to be corrected. I just need to look at the figure again. But it's doing fairly well compared to the other voter turnouts that we did take a look at. So it is at 71.8%, and that's really, really one of the highest I think I've seen today.
Yeah, but speaking of voter turnout, I want to believe that this time it might be lower than it was compared in 2020, because in 2020 it was 38.26%, and then SWAPO had 56.55% of the total vote, and then we also had IPC with 17.14%, LPM 6.77%, PDM 6.74%, NUDO with 2.36%. Now, these figures, they are going to be greatly changed because the SWAPO is performing well so far.
So far. Okay, I do like the fact that the independent candidates, like we mentioned, they're doing fairly well. We are seeing that voter turnouts, I would want to say in some constituencies did quite better than compared to, let's say, the more urban areas, but that does tend to be analyzed and, really verified with the statistics. What do you think is some shockers that we can expect with these results?
The next thing that we will expect, apart from the results coming in, is almost every opposition party coming to blame ECN, and they will come to blame the SWAPO party, and they will come up with every reason that they can think of in the book to say these elections were not free and fair. I think apart from the shock that we are getting from the results, the next thing that is not shocking though is that we will hear so many complaints coming up. Yeah.
Are there some trends that you think would, affect the next national elections that we're going to have? Are we seeing fundamental realignment of the Namibian electorate here?
I just want to think that with IPC losing ground and PDM losing ground and LPM losing ground, the next thing that might happen is to see Professor Joba Mpanda's movement taking the place that these other three parties are leaving. Because he still have the youth constituency. He still has a lot of things to promise people, unlike PDM that has been there for decades, and like IPC that has just come in now and then their steam has run out. And unlike LPM that also appears to have their steam stolen, or the next thing that might be the star talk is Professor Joba Mpanda's party.
All right. Now, Ongwediva constituency returning officer Paulus Nekongo monitoring proceedings as a vote verification continues at Mwashipendeka High School Coalition Center. This update was as of 12 p.m. Let's have a look.
Yes, my name is Paulus Nekongo, the returning officer for Ongwediva Regional Council. We are actually busy with the verifications of the polling. So far, we have the 28 teams. 15 they are for regional and then 13 they are for local authority. They are all in here. They are just basically busy now with the verifications for the countings, just to collate all for the constituency.
Now, the results that came in, how will these affect more competitive and how will they affect the competitiveness of the opposition, would you say?
I think what will happen now is that the SWAPO party, where they've taken over, because now they know that it is possible for the opposition party to come up, then they will have to meet every promise that they are making. Because what happened in the past 5 years and what happened in 2020 was a wake-up call to say you don't have to sit back on what you would have said you are going to do. So the opposition may be dying down now, but then there will still be a pressure cooker kind of thing where they will be monitoring SWAPO, where if SWAPO goes back again to sleep, and then they know the opposition can come back.
Well, this is now starting to paint a picture, I would like to say, but would you say we should not start already assuming this is where the trajectory is going in terms of the political landscape with the results that have come in?
I think we would rather wait for all the results to come in, because it might actually change midway. But there is going to be a ground shift. Yeah. So that ground shift, if at all, is shifting back to the SWAPO party. So, but then we can say this with confidence once everything else is in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We can say that with confidence. We did tackle a lot on the independent candidates. In the future, are we going to see more from independent candidates in terms of them probably dominating the elections?
I'm not sure about dominating, but what I'm sure of is that some have seen what Mbango has done, so it will become a fashion kind of thing, where each one then will then try to say Mbango has done it. So if I try it on my own, I might also do the same. But as for dominating, they might be dominating in numbers of those who are aspiring. But to say they will dominate in elections where they will grab the majority of the seats, it's not gonna happen like now.
Okay, very interesting. I would have thought that we're gonna, put all our money on the independent candidates moving forward.
I don't think so. Maybe in the next 10 years, maybe. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time and helping us analyze the results as they are trickling in, and that's all the time that